Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think all the members of this committee on both sides of the aisle really appreciate your determination and your, I think, sincere interest in the privatization of the air traffic control system. We obviously have different views on what that might come to. Most everything that has been said about the problems with it has been said, but let me add a few words. In the testimony that we heard from Secretary Chow, the issue of the $6.7 billion in the trust fund came up. And I asked her if that was to be transferred to the new corporation. The answer was perfectly unclear. But it seems to me that in addition to all of the other assets that the corporation would receive in this privatization, that this $6.7 billion in the trust fund, which we can say is cash, should not be transferred. This is money that the taxpayers, or I should say the fee payers and or taxpayers have paid into this aviation trust fund. So the Airport and Airway Trust Fund should not be transferred. And we, therefore, should not ask the tax-paying traveler to provide the cash to get this organization started. So this amendment is pretty simple. It simply says that this balance in the trust fund is not to be transferred. Now, the trust fund can be used for many purposes, many of which have been identified by the various discussions and amendments here, ranging from better service on the review of equipment, individuals. I got a letter just the other day from an individual that said, I can't get my medical clearance, and therefore I can't get up in can't be the pilot that I want to be until I get that clearance. We can't get the clearance because money's not available. The chairman has offered an amendment, which unfortunately was rejected, that would have provided a secure source of money. In any case, this $6.7 billion ought not be transferred. It ought to be used for the purposes of the FAA and the current air traffic control system. And that's the amendment. It says that the $6.7 billion in the trust fund cannot be transferred to the new corporation. And with that, I yield back my remaining time.
I thank the gentleman for offering